Morning, YouTube. I've done this story for you before 3 months ago. I didn't have a lot of subscribers or followers at the time, and to me, that really wasn't important. It was more so getting the information out. But now that I have more of a following, I thought that I would re-highlight the story of justice for Manuel Paulino, a local boy from my town. I think it's only been like a year since this happened, so I thought that I would replay it, especially with all this talk for justice for Junior in New York. It got national headline news. It made it on BET, but it kind of died out after a year. So I thought I would re-highlight Justice for Manuel Paulino. Hey YouTube, I basically wanted to come to you this morning and try to switch gears and give you a little content. And bear with me because I'm new to this. But I wanted to bring you a local story that also made national headline news from my hometown city of Lawrence, Massachusetts. The boy you see on the right, Manuel Paulino, was decapitated down by a river after smoking a blunt with a fellow classmate, Matthew Borges, that you see on the left, whom is 15. Both boys attend the high school that I attended when I was a teenager, Lawrence High School. And my niece actually goes to school with both boys, or had went to school with both boys, and shares classes with both. I will say that the boy on the right, the one that was murdered, Lee, he's very well liked, big in his community and big in his church. The boy on the left, Matthew Borges, was very quiet, antisocial, kind of a loner, and got really good grades from what I understand. Really, at the end of the day, it's all speculation. I'm not quite sure when the two boys befriended each other, but I think it was fairly close to when the murder happened. They went down by the river to smoke a blunt in the middle of the night. And then Lee was found 2 weeks later decapitated, and his hands were cut off from his elbows down. Now, originally the cops had labeled Lee as a runaway. I know that he lived with his grandmother, and his mother was in Dominican Republic at the time of the missing child report. I'm not really sure when she came back into town, but you'll see her in some of the videos here. There's been speculation of MS-13 associations, gang initiation, potential revenge on the parents for maybe a business deal that went wrong, and I've even heard of Manuel's sexual preference being mentioned through the streets here and there, which is absolutely ridiculous. No child should have to die at 16, no matter what his preference was, but really, like I said, that's all hearsay. I will say that there was a PlayStation 4 stolen, I think prior to the murder of Manuel Paulino's, which linked Burgess to the whole thing. I think that's how the case opened up, was through this PlayStation. I know that there's another boy on house arrest associated with all of this, but he's allowed to attend high school, so I'm assuming that he has something to do with the PlayStation. Anyways, everything's really all hearsay, but the streets talk. I don't want to get into speculation of some of the things that have been said or mentioned on the case. I know that Matthew Borges did admit to the crime. I know that he had told a fellow classmate that he had done something really bad to a fellow classmate down by the river. But I also know there was a camera found local to the river, and outside surveillance showing Matthew and 3 grown men either coming or leaving the scene. I truly do not believe that this 15-year-old boy did this himself. And I really think he's terrified to talk, because he's looking at a lot of time with some of these gangs. Anyways, I thought I brought light to it. Manuel was a beautiful soul. The whole city came out for this one. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people come out and do his vigil. Justice for Lee. I'm going to end the video with the sister's tribute. But watch your kids. Make sure you know who your kids are hanging out with, and don't let them leave late at night. Keep an eye on your children. They're your most prized possessions. Anyways, justice for Lee.
Teen charged in gruesome decapitation murder. Family and friends are mourning the loss of a Massachusetts teen who was horrifically beheaded by a classmate. Manuel Paulino disappeared on November 18th, leaving behind his phone and wallet. The teen's family had filed a missing persons report, but the authorities considered him a runaway and largely ignored the case. Later, a woman walking her dog along the Merrimack River spotted his body near the riverbank. He had been decapitated and gruesomely mutilated. Both arms were hacked below the elbow, and his head was lying about 50 feet away. Police investigating the brutal slaying believe it was carried out by Viloria Paulino's classmate, 16-year-old Matthew Borges. Borges was arrested on Saturday after authorities found evidence linking him to the killing. Police have not disclosed a motive for the murder. Borges is expected to be charged as an adult with first-degree murder. See a story that really should be animated? Suggest stories to Tomo News now.
About a horrific murder, the 15-year-old accused of decapitating his classmate caught after allegedly confessing to a friend. Tonight, friends call the suspect quiet and paranoid. WBZ's Louisa Mueller is live in Lawrence tonight. Louisa? Well, Lisa, as a memorial for that victim grows, a friend of the suspect tells me Matthew Borges has a good heart, that he cares for his family, and now that friend doesn't know what to think. There's nothing I can do to change anything. A brutal reality set in for the grieving mother of 16-year-old Manuel Viloria Paulino. On Monday, the victim's 15-year-old classmate, Matthew Borges, appeared in court on charges he murdered and decapitated the Lawrence High School sophomore. Police reports state Borges told a witness he did something bad and that he stabbed a kid and cut his head off.
I cried. The first thing I did was cry. It hurt.
On November 18th, Borges told police he and Viloria Paulino walked to the Merrimack River to smoke marijuana. The two captured on surveillance cameras leaving the victim's house. That was the last time the teen was seen alive. His mutilated body discovered 2 weeks later.
He's a smart person. He's very quiet. He's a very nice person.
Stunning news for friends of Borges who gathered outside court.
He has common sense. He's the type of kid that has common sense. I don't believe the fact that he would do that because it's just not him.
And for Viloria Paulino's mom, frustration with the Lawrence Police Department.
To the mayor, to the chief of police, to every police officer, detective in our police department, if it was their kid, would they have waited 2 weeks to look for him?
Now, I reached out to police about those comments and haven't heard anything back. I'm also told another vigil for the victim will take place tomorrow night and has been specifically moved to the police department. Borges is being held without bail. Live in Lawrence, Louisa Mueller, WBZ News.
It's just an incredibly tough day for this family and this community. A lot of people are here right now at this funeral home. The funeral and visitation started at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The brutal death of this teenager really has shaken this community. Manuel Viloria Paulino was just 16 years old. He was a popular kid in school. Just over a week ago, his body was found along the banks of the Merrimack River. Police have accused a 15-year-old classmate, saying he stabbed the boy and then cut off his head. It is just a gruesome crime that has troubled this community, and people are coming tonight to try to comfort his family.
Everybody's, grateful to have everybody in there, and trying to be positive, but it's horrible. Everybody's crying. There's no way to really describe it. It's just, I don't know, it's sad.
And as a parent, you should never have to go through burying your own child, because the way the cycle of life goes is that you're supposed to die before your kids and not the other way around. And he was a disability speak kid.
Very difficult inside this funeral home tonight, but again, a lot of people here to try to comfort this family. The visitation and funeral runs until 8 o'clock tonight. We're live in Lawrence tonight. John Atwater, WCVB News Center 5.
It's Lisa, remembering the Lawrence teenager murdered and beheaded, police say by a friend from school. Individual's location is calling attention to the family's anger with police. WBC's Louisa Mueller is live in Lawrence there. Louisa?
William, that vigil took place directly across the street from the Lawrence Police Department, but as much as it was a message, it was also an emotional memorial.
Soberano Dios.
Hundreds gathered at a vigil in Lawrence to mend a deep wound. Only 5 days since the discovery of Manuel Viloria Paulino's brutal murder,
I would never expect me to ever end up like this. It hurts me and it hurts people who grew up with him.
The 16-year-old's body found decapitated in Merrimack River. His classmate, 15-year-old Matthew Borges, arrested for the crime.
It's very hard. Violence needs to go away. We need to stop better people's lives.
The crowd held candles and sang songs. Lee spelled out in flame.
This is something that has affected all of us.
The emotional outpouring, also a silent protest. The vigil deliberately held across from the Lawrence Police Department after Lee's family argued police should have done more to find him.
Because he's Hispanic, they made it seem like he was a runaway. Lee would never do something like that.
But the real focus on a young man described as creative and sweet. His short life and tragic death touching an entire community.
In here, it's like it's your family, your own family.
Police had no comment on tonight's vigil, although the police chief has said that his officers were relentless in their search for the victim. Lawrence's mayor also attended the vigil tonight, but he also had no comment. Live in Lawrence, Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
This is the sisters' tribute. I'm gonna leave it at that.
My city break it down, sinking in the ocean, man. We never float, but man, we always hoping. While my city break it down, sinking in the ocean, man. We never float, but man, we always hoping. God called another angel up into the heavens. Rest in paradise to you were definitely a blessing. My heart is aching heavy, cause my city is a mess, and I'm just glad we got the witness. Yeah, another lesson. Even though his body's gone, his soul is gonna live on, watching over all of us. The umbrella to the storm, he's the blanket, keep us warm. He been fighting off a storm, left his mark on the world, and I feel it keeps us warm. He looks over the city, he's rocking up the heavens. He was repping 777s, couldn't picture his life ending. I'm tired of these fakes who be claiming they your friends, saying that they keep you safe, but that shit is just pretend. I'm tired of a liar who be geeking when he's wired, fucking with the homies' life, send them to a higher power. These killers left a hole in my city, they showing no pity, they don't understand how hard this shit is hitting, and it's breaking all my people. I'm loving them all, but I'm here to pick us up whenever we fall. Can't we wait for way to violence, why the family's always crying whenever I'm in the city, while my always hearing sirens as I'm walking through the street, or I'm driving in my car, thinking about the situation doesn't make sense at all. And now that we together, we gotta work together and forget the stormy days, cause we only make them better. While my city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always float. While my city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always float. While my city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always float. While my city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always float. Yeah, 978, haters wanna take your plate, they be low-key plotting on you cause they wanna take your place. They just wanna bring you down, they don't want you around, trying to take you to the place where the truth don't make a sound. We got police keeping silent, my people don't like the silence. We just want that fucking justice cause we tired of the violence and we tired of the fighting. People always going at it, they so quick to grab a weapon like a semi-automatic. We just need a piece of love and it's hidden in the magic. So you gotta cherish moments for they gone, you gotta grasp it. God wins, he's an angel and he's run through the clouds. So we say when you're stable, man, you make the city proud, but this ain't the only issue. We got hella problems, but we a strong city, even though we won the bottom. And I'm proud of you all, I'm here to break the fall. Now we gotta keep a memory up on the wall. My city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always open. My city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always open. My city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never float, man, we always open. My city breaking down, sinking in the ocean, man, we never